There is no question as to what the most popular body style in the world of electric cars is right now, and that isn't this. Instead, it's something like this, or this, or this. Like their combustion-powered equivalents, electric SUVs and crossovers boast plenty of physical presence and offer the same beloved qualities: ease of entry and exit, an elevated view out onto the road, and lots of practicality. From a manufacturing perspective, it makes lots of sense too. Your batteries are tucked underfloor, so why not just raise the vehicle entirely? The world of electrification has room for more than just high-riding vehicles though. For those who still think of the good old days where the driving experience took, well, a bit more of a front seat, that brings us back to this, the electric sedan. What exactly makes an electric sedan feel compelling? On the one hand, it needs to do the electric part right. Additionally, it has to nail the sedan part down too. And for it to have been the standout car in a single year, there's gotta be a certain X factor that gives it undeniable appeal as well. To begin, let's come back to what has conventionally defined a sedan. We have 4 doors in a closed body configuration and the ability to comfortably sit 4 or 5 people. Arguably the most important quality though, a sedan has a 3-box shape. Efficiency demands that cars have become more aerodynamic, and aerodynamics have it that cars have grown, let's say, slightly misshapen. Even with its incredible drag coefficient, however, the Seal manages to hang on to the conventional sedan shape quite commendably. Styling is highly subjective, so the Seal's design may or may not be to your taste, but there's clearly still a long bonnet, a distinct midsection that forms the cabin, and then the third box where the roofline meets the boot. Straddling the growing space between mass market and upmarket, the Seal's cabin is also fantastically put together, the sort that you would have conventionally expected from a premium-ish sedan. You get sweet and soft-touch materials, branded speakers, quilted seats, and even expensive-feeling materials on the center console, such as this crystal gear lever, which is weighty and just so nice to operate. This entire space feels undeniably modern as well, what with all the digitalization that you're getting, as well as, of course, this massive rotating screen. But this place still feels like a proper car cabin rather than just another electronic device. So, that's the electric sedan bit out of the way. As an electric car, there are a few bars that the Seal has to rise to as well, starting right here. Range and charging are arguably at the top of any driver's mind. Even the entry-level variant is capable of up to 460 kilometers of range on a full charge of its smaller battery, which can support DC charging at up to 110 kilowatts for a 20 to 80% recharge in just 32 minutes. Move up to the Seal Premium with its larger battery, you get an incredible maximum range of 570 kilometers. This can also support faster charging at up to 150 kilowatts, so recharge times remain within the half-hour ballpark. Now this, when you're behind the wheel, is really when you start to see how the electric sedan is so much more superior to your typical electric crossover or electric SUV. For starters, I'm seated nice and low. I have these very nice, supportive sport seats hugging me, and all that instant torque and power is just mind-boggling. It makes your average older combustion-powered family sedan feel like a tractor in comparison. Of course, we're exaggerating, but the point remains that this is such a silently lethal car. At this point, you're probably expecting us to go on about how the 3.8-second century sprint timing of this car is supercar rivaling. And all that is true, but the Seal excels even when it's not going in a straight line. Don't get us wrong, at around 2 tons unladen, you're definitely going to be feeling this car's weight if you throw it around bends at speed. Having said that, there's still lots of good stuff going on. For instance, we get 50-50 weight distribution across the front and rear axles. And because the car's batteries are mounted underfloor, we also get a very low center of gravity. And finally, in this all-wheel drive variant, you even get torque vectoring on a family sedan. But let's also be realistic. Not every driver needs supercar rivaling power or the sort of tech that would help with B-road bombing. Here's where the Seal rolls up its sleeves for another magic trick that gives it an extra X factor: the freedom of choice. Now, what I was driving earlier was the Seal Performance, but this one that you see beside me is the Seal Dynamic. There are slightly smaller tires, you don't have the 3.8S badging over here, and there are also some slight differences in equipment if you squint. The most important point, however, its single electric motor is aimed squarely at helping it be more affordable. Sure, this dynamic variant will take much longer to complete the century sprint, but with a healthy amount of instant torque still on tap, who cares?
You're really still getting the same sort of package overall as the range-topping performance. And at times like these where the gap between Cat A and Cat B COE premiums is starting to widen, the ability to choose the sort, or should we say species of seal that you want, starts to become easier to appreciate.
No one's going to call you crazy if an electric crossover or SUV is what you ultimately want. After all, the appeal of such cars is undeniable today. However, for those who want to embrace the new era of electrification while holding on to some form of the good old days of cars, don't look away from the electric sedan. On this front, the Seal, in its variety of flavors and its mixture of old school and futuristic charms, stands out as our electric sedan of the year.